Hi, I'm Nicola Joss, facialist and beauty expert. We're here in my clinic in Harrods. I am also the co-founder of a supplement brand called Hopothecary. We have Hops Drop supplements. I really take a holistic approach to everything, but actually my background is science. So I've worked in the industry for over 25 years.
Hi, I'm Dr. Anita Sturnham. I am founder of Decree Skincare and Nourice Clinics in London, and I'm delighted to be here today with the amazing Nicola Joss. It's been a long time since I've seen you in person, as we did a lot of work together during lockdown, and you've been an amazing supporter of my brand Decree and helped us with our growth. So that's been so nice, and it's lovely to be here in person with you. So I'm a medical doctor. Alongside my medical degree, I also have a degree in anatomy and physiology. So my background is also science and postgraduate degree in dermatology. Despite my scientific background, I also take a really holistic approach to having healthy skin. So I think there's a really nice synergy between the two of us today.
Why both our brands centre around AM and PM? I mean, isn't that lovely synergy? I think for me, with supplements, supplementation market is really drenched. There's a lot there, but for me it's taking something simple to start and end your day, so to reset the body after sleep and when you waken. So that's why I do a day and a night process, and I think that top and tails your day, and I think that also just goes into the beauty of skincare, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And as part of my medical training, I also did a degree in anatomy and physiology, and one of my specialist interests was looking at the physiology of the skin. And the skin actually has its own circadian rhythm, as you know, and the cells and the needs of your skin change from morning to night. So it makes sense that you can give your skin the key nutrients at the right time of day, then your skin cells will use those more effectively. So I love tuning into the circadian rhythm for your skin, for your body, and keeping it simple, as you've done with your range as well. So there's a perfect synergy between the goals that we've wanted to achieve.
I think so, the harmony's there, and we focused heavily on the circadian rhythm and understanding the importance and the health benefits from resetting the circadian rhythm and really looking at the body in a resting phase and an awakening phase. Yeah. So that's why, again, like you, the importance of AM and PM, keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
So the circadian rhythm is your natural waking, sleeping, recovery process of the body. So when you, it's really good to get into a process of, or a ritual of sleeping at the right times. So your circadian rhythm will really adjust. If you're not sleeping well and it goes out of sorts, that's when you start seeing illness, fatigue, tiredness, lack of energy, because your system's out of sync. So it's about resetting and put it back into that lovely rhythm that we want. And it's about daylight and nighttime. So our bodies respond significantly to daylight, right? We have to function in daylight. And when we start coming into those winter months as well, where nighttime comes quicker, you kind of need to adopt that going to bed or getting into restful state quicker, because that's the natural rhythm of the body. No matter how things evolve on the planet, technology evolves, we still, as human beings, sit in that same process. We don't evolve from that. We're at our kind of peak evolution with regards to the physiology of our bodies right now and how that works, right?
Yeah, I think you've explained it perfectly, and obviously, you know, when you wake up in the morning, your brain, your senses kind of set off this whole cascade of hormone production, which kind of gives you that drive and that energy to get up and do, you know, your daily routine. And then as you wind down towards the end of the day, when you're preparing for bed, you've obviously got your melatonin production increasing, and it gets you ready for sleep. I really like focusing on the fact that your sleep stage for every organ in your body is where every cell in the body rests and repairs itself.
Yeah.
So giving your body systemically and your skin externally all of those nutrients it needs to repair and rejuvenate whilst you sleep also works in synergy with that circadian rhythm as well.
Perfect. Perfectly put.
From my point of view, I have a 4-year-old daughter, so sometimes the circadian rhythm is off if she's unwell. But I'm always really focused on the importance of that sleep stage of my routine. And if I have had a disruptive night's sleep, I really spend a lot of time trying to reset things. I normally have a Whoop strap, so I track my sleep data and I adjust my activities the next day if I haven't slept well. So knowing that my body will be more prone to illness or inflammation when I've had that disrupted circadian rhythm, I slow my pace down. So being in tune with what your body's going through and adopting has been my key to coping with those days where it's not always possible to have that perfect routine.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? I mean, I'm similar. My sleep patterns are better. My children are older, so there's less disruption. But I'm busy and I'm juggling a million balls, so that affects my sleep patterns, my circadian rhythm struggles. What I do is I always make sure I have a ritual 2 hours before, so it starts 2 hours before I actually go to sleep, and I like to get to sleep by midnight at the very latest because I'm a 5:55 a.m. girl.
Very similar.
Yeah, I like to just, and I feel that I really kind of hit things when I get up before 6 o'clock, albeit it's 5 minutes before 6, but that psychological element of it really keeps me focused. And I find the worst thing for the circadian rhythm is laying in. So if you lay in because you didn't get to sleep till 2, 3 o'clock, it can really disrupt what you're trying to do to get yourself back in balance. So get up, focus through your day, but then start going to bed earlier and you will start to settle. I mean,
that's really good advice.
Yeah,
I always say to my patients when I'm trying to reset their circadian rhythms, set your alarm so it goes off at the same time every day, regardless of whether you need to get up at that time or not. So you start to get this routine. And interestingly, things I've learned as a mother, sleep signaling my daughter, it's time to start winding down for bed. Actually, that's really powerful as an adult. We were talking about how we like using LED masks as our sleep signal. And that's the time where we go, okay, we're going to slow down our pace now and we're going to wind down and do some self-care and then get ready for a nice restful night's sleep. So the same principles we use for our young children apply to us as adults as well.
Absolutely, they work for us. And actually your body is very good at listening to your thoughts and your words, regardless of what they are. So by telling yourself, this is part of my sleep ritual, this is me getting into a routine so that I have good sleep. Even if you don't believe it, by saying it and the body's listening to you, you will start to move and shift into that space of better sleep. I think the other thing that's really, really important is in the morning is to always make sure when you get up, you don't have your do not lay in. It's really not beneficial for you. Open your curtains and get as much daylight as possible.
Open my blinds and let some daylight in.
Absolutely.
And that just, we talked about setting off those hormonal signals. It sets off all those things that are needed to give you that cortisol boost and that energy and the drive you need for the day.
Absolutely, and that natural daylight. And also to remember when you're up that early in the morning and there's sunlight, that sunlight is a very gentle sunlight, so you can expose your body and your face and your eyes to it. There's no need, for 10 minutes being out in the garden very early in the morning.
Have your cup of coffee,
right? Get
some sunlight. Yeah, I agree.
Makes you feel so much better.
It's good for your happy hormone production as well.
It is. Top tips for morning routine when in the winter, and especially in the UK when it's getting darker. And I remember, I'm Scottish, so it's even darker there earlier, but beautifully light also in the right time of year. It's about sticking to your routine and still opening your curtains at 6 or 7 in the morning. You can slightly change your timings for winter, and the body will naturally want to gravitate to sleeping a little bit longer, but make sure you get outside and get sunlight and if you can be in nature, great, be in nature. Stick to your routines. It's the body loves a routine.
Yeah, it's a bit like what we were talking about earlier, the principles of healthy skin, having a consistent, simple routine, the same for your body. Yeah. And I agree with that, and completely having that same schedule is really important, but also looking at other ways that you can elevate your mood. So maybe do some stretching or do some breath work or meditation, whatever it is that you need to get yourself in the right zone to have a good, productive day.
Absolutely.
And keeping that consistent as part of your routine.
Keeping it consistent. And, doing things like going for the sauna and the red light therapy for sure, because in the winter we can tend to get a little bit not sad, but we get a bit lower, don't we? Because again, as humans, we crave that sunlight.
Yeah.
We crave that daylight.
And light therapy is also interesting as well. So having, home lights that you can use to elevate your mood and your energy can be useful. So when I designed my skincare range, I wanted to follow those principles that I've always recommended in my clinical practice, which is having a routine that's designed to feed your skin with what it needs at the right time of day. As you know, in the morning, we want skin that's got a healthy, strong skin barrier. We want hydration and we want antioxidants to help mop up, the free radicals from the environmental aggressors. So the Decree AM regime is designed to do just that. And PM, we know our skin goes into that rest and repair mode. We want to get our melanocytes repaired and ready for the next day. We want to build our skin barrier up and we want to stimulate our fibroblasts to make collagen, elastin, hyaluronic acid. So using ingredients that will help feed those processes, that's the kind of the concept behind the Decree. And in terms of the simplification part, that's come from learning and looking at my patients and being exposed to skin and looking at their routines. I've always been really fascinated in people showing me what they're putting onto their skin rather than waiting for the skin to have a problem and then prescribe a medicine to fix it. I want to look at what you're doing every day. So I've had 20 years of market research of looking at routines, and the biggest consistent problem I've seen are people having way too many products, overloading their skin, using lots of things and hoping one of them makes a difference, or chopping and changing their products too frequently. So it became very clear a simple routine that's kind of stripped right back to some core essential products that you can use morning and night is the secret to having healthy skin. It's not rocket science, but actually so many people do this bit wrong.
I agree with you 100%, and I sit very much where you sit, and I've had the same similar 20 years of experience of, I love asking people, okay, so what are you using right now? Do you find it's working for you? How often are you using it? How long do you... And just the same thing happens. People use way too many different products and are not really sure of what they're doing, and they're not getting results. And then they come to us and go, I don't know what's happening. So I'm with you on that. And then what I found is, because I also studied naturopathic medicine, I really wanted to look at the internal aspect of creating good skin using antioxidants, and all those great ingredients that you're using topically, we can use internally as well to help to improve the gut microbiome, so that as an adaptogen, it stimulates the body to produce the right products, the right ingredients rather, for you, for your body, the right good bacteria. So that's why I chose to do the day and night as well, for the very similar reasons that we want to activate the body in the morning, flush it full of antioxidants and all that good anti-inflammatory, especially after the night, because sometimes we can build up inflammation throughout the night. And then at night time, resetting the circadian rhythm, getting you back into that real balanced, calm, relaxed state so that you sleep better and deeper. And even if you wake up, you're going to go back to sleep better.
I found that really interesting when you were explaining about your very cleverly designed products, that you use a different type of hop to create the night product. And you're using a byproduct of that manufacturing process. So you're saving this really valuable ingredient that has so many health benefits.
It's amazing. So discovering the humble hop plant was phenomenal. I kind of stumbled across it. It was growing in my garden. It was in lockdown and I was studying naturopathic medicine, and I was so intrigued with this plant and did lots and lots of research and came to the xanthohumol compound, the property that's it's the big boy. It's what's lost in extraction. So hops being used for their bitters and their flavours for beers, and everything else was disregarded. And the xanthohumol part is the part that's the big boy. It's full of the antioxidants. It's going to be the anti-inflammatory and hit those markers. And it helps with the different hop oils combined with xanthohumol to either stimulate or to regulate and repair. So
what a clever concept.
It's such a clever concept.
Makes so much sense to me, and it completely resonates with how I like to look after skin and health.
I love it, and I love the fact that it was growing in my garden, that it's predominantly English, but actually it's indigenous to all continents, and it comes from the Cannabisea plant. So It's like CBD's very big, clever sister.
Yeah.
So I think it's vital that we look at our inner and outer beauty to harness inner health. Really will give you the best skin that you have, that you can create. So when we take a supplement like Hops Drops Day and even Hops Drops Night, because it's not just for sleeping and resetting circadian rhythm, what you're doing is you're activating, you're stimulating, you're improving the cell regeneration process, you're cleaning up the gut, you're cleaning up the blood, you're allowing the pathways to work clearly, you're slowing down any effects of metabolic syndrome, which is the precursor to disease and illness. So by doing that, you're allowing the skin cells to function at their optimal pace and actually can slow down that degeneration process. So by allowing your body to produce better skin cells as they rise to the surface, as they start doing their work, as they come up to be visible, you can then really tackle the topical skin with great skincare, which is where you come in as well,
and I agree with everything you've said there. And actually, in my NHS career, I've always had dermatology separated from my medical roles, but it was very clear early on in my medical career that they should be joined together. And I started to see a big link between systemic inflammatory disorders and skin issues. So it became my specialist interest, looking at how I can support the skin health in order to get good skin. And sometimes my patients come to see me at my private skin clinic and they're wondering why I'm asking them about their hormones and their periods and their nutrition. And I say, you'll see there's a link, and it makes it really, I have to be a detective. I need to see exactly all the different signals that are feeding into your skin. Your topical skincare is also important. If you go to a dermatologist or a GP with a skin issue, the first thing they'll prescribe you is a topical medicine, because something that's well formulated, that's the quickest way to get healing nutrients into your skin. So your skincare makes a big difference. It can make your skin go into meltdown if you're putting the wrong things onto it, but it can also be the difference between taking your skin from okay to great by putting the right things onto it. Absolutely. And I think everything with skin needs to be focused around, what does my skin have receptors for? Which nutrients does it have receptors for? Which ingredients can I feed it with on a daily basis to optimize my skin's health? And your skin is an organ that you can feed in two directions. Because of the blood supply that feeds the dermis, what you put in internally is a way of providing the skin with nutrients, as you said correctly. So it's about getting the two together in synergy, you'll have your best skin. But, just non-gimmicky, you don't need to use snail slime or bees venom or whatever gets put into these, marketing claims. You just want some good essential antioxidants, stem cells, peptides, retinoids. These are all things that will turn your skin around.
Absolutely, and also take away the drama around skincare so you can actually live your life and it becomes the minimal habit that you do that works, right?
I mean, some of the routines I see on TikTok, it's like a half an hour ritual. Fine if that's your once a week treatment, but some people are doing this daily. It's way too much. Your skin will not thank you for it. And you could be doing much better things with your time.
Absolutely. I think we've nailed it there,
definitely.
right?
That's
we know
the
what we're
secret.
doing. We are the secret.
We are the secret.
I think the first thing is to look at your diet. So I always say to my clients, lemon juice and warm water first thing in the morning. Just rehydrate the organs. Even if you're not thirsty, have that first thing. Look at supplementations, take advice, don't just pick something you think is well marketed or is certainly, on a shelf somewhere without really taking advice. So take advice on supplementations, but keep them quite minimal. I think people over-supplement because it's the next fad and they want to optimize what, Betty on Instagram is doing or Simon on TikTok, and actually they're not you. So take real good advice about that. Breathe properly. So take time to breathe. And the breath, I think, is quite interesting because it's, there are many breath out experts out there, aren't there? That'll tell you to do breathe in for 4, hold for 3, breathe out for 7. But actually, what you need to do, in my very humble opinion, is find your own personal breathing rhythm. And we're all different in how our breath rhythm is. Find the most comfortable one that you have without pushing it, and then opening it up and optimizing it slightly. So just really taking time to open your lungs up. And there are things you can do to help that, but don't make it difficult. So breath will help to calm you as well. It'll give you balance. It opens up the lungs. It helps with the oxygenation of the cells.
I myself sitting up straighter then.
Right? It's just like, okay, let me just correct slightly. Yeah. So breath. I mean, I'm talking really basic things here, but I think people forget the basics because they want it to be complicated, therefore it'll be better. But it is the simple things. Sleep is hugely important, like we speak about all the time. A lot of people say you don't need as much sleep as I think you need. I think everyone needs at least 8 hours of sleep because that rest is so important for the body and that repairing mechanism, and also for the emotional body and the spiritual body as well. We need that time to just rest and repair. I've probably said more than 5, haven't I?
I think that was 5, but I agree actually, and with all of your suggestions, and this is what I recommend as well. But definitely the sleep and the nutrition part are essential to get that right, because until you do, nothing else will really change. From a skincare point of view, to get your skincare right, if we're starting from like the typical person I'd see on the high street or in clinic for the first time, they will usually have loads of products. So my first tip is to do a good declutter. Strip everything right back. And one really easy way of doing that without an expert there with you is to look at expiry dates. And look at the period after opening dates, because I reckon most people can get rid of 50% of their skincare just by getting rid of the stuff that's expired and no longer good to use on your skin. And then visually inspect your products. Those that are bubbling away, or there's oil floating on top of the formulation that's separated, or that lovely straw coloured serum you once purchased that's now bright orange, that's oxidised. Get rid of those products that no longer look or smell like they did when you first got them.
It's the smell, I think. I always say to clients as well, smell your product.
So then you've got it's like a more streamlined routine already, and then you need to get the essential basics. I always think it's really important to get your cleanse right. So many people do this wrong. They're either over cleansing and using double cleansing, then exfoliating toners and stripping their skin barrier, or they're not doing it at all because they think they don't really need to do a cleanse. So getting a good cleanse into your routine. I love kind of cream or gel texture cleansers in the morning that are packed full of nice, gentle cleansing ingredients, sulfate-free, apple amino acid type surfactants that gently cleanse without disrupting your acid mantle. Then your serums. I think it's really important to use a serum. If you're starting from nothing, or you want to really start with simple, then a good antioxidant serum that you can use morning and night, the same serum.
Perfect.
Ingredients like vitamin C, niacinamide, ferulic acid, the good old-fashioned trio. And then if you can find things with added things like copper peptides, that I'm really into at the moment.
I love copper peptides.
Me too. Orally inject them, put them on your skin, great for your skin. So having a good serum that you can use morning and evening. And if you are feeling like you can cope with 2, then I would add in something like a vitamin A retinoid type serum. Not something that's going to make your skin go red and start peeling, but something like a next generation gram-active retinoid that's going to give you all the benefits of vitamin A. It's the most well-studied, most well-tested ingredient in skincare and has multiple benefits across all age groups. So the serums are important, and moisturiser. You know, a healthy skin barrier is a key element to having skin that's healthy.
Absolutely.
If your top layer, which is a bit like a brick wall, we're often talking about the skin cells, your keratinocytes are the bricks, and the ceramides, the lipids, are your mortar. If that brick wall isn't strong and has gaps in it and it's compromised, you will have water escaping easily, so your skin will dry out and be irritated and sensitive, and things will get in that shouldn't. So everything's about having good foundations and a good strong top layer to protect. And sunscreen. You know, spending 20 years studying skin and looking at the impact that UV damage has on our skin health, from a skin cancer point of view, from a premature aging point of view, from a pigmentation point of view, UV damage causes so many issues in the skin, so having a good sunscreen that you can use every day. And I think we're lucky now, we have some really kind of sophisticated formulations that are kind of a blend of chemical and mineral sunscreens, and they feel like skincare, they feel like makeup even.
Absolutely.
So they don't feel like you're using something medical, and it's no longer got that sunscreen feel. It almost blends in and looks like a tinted foundation sometimes, tinted moisturiser.
Agreed. I think how fortunate we are that we've moved into the space where our SPF is good, actually, because it wasn't for a while. It wasn't fantastic, and it was hard to apply, and it didn't look great, or it didn't feel good, and many other reasons.
Break out. And now,
exactly. Now
I use my sunscreens as my makeup now.
Yeah, great.
So yeah, I think we're fortunate enough to be blessed to have access to some great products.
I also think it's really important to massage your face every night when you get into bed, and I'll tell you why. It just reconnects you with your body, and it removes any kind of lymph build-up or any sluggishness. It resets the brain in order to relax you.
Forget how important human touch is.
I know, the touch
and
is
there was
so
me
important.
talking about lazy massage tools, and you look mortified, but actually I see why. And touching is calming, isn't it?
It's really calming. The body enjoys the touch and that whole complete cycle that you're making with your own body as well. Plus, you're kind of like de-stressing the muscle tissue, so you're adding those gorgeous contours back into your face again.
I'm going to start reintroducing that into my routine.
Love you.
Our skin cells, talking of using nutrients or ingredients that our skin has receptors for, our skin cells have copper receptors. So when copper binds to our fibroblasts, it turns on the key for making new collagen and elastin. Copper also has lots of other properties, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant properties as well. There's some interesting studies looking at copper peptides for connective tissue elsewhere in the body as well. And I know in the longevity space, some physicians are starting to use copper peptides to slow senescence and cellular aging. So we use copper peptides in our Protect Elixir. So I've always been interested in them, but in my clinic we're starting to trial injections of copper peptides, which we're seeing really great results with. Yeah,
I've had a couple of sessions of injections with copper peptides, and I will say I see a noticeable difference almost immediately, actually. And for all the reasons that you stated, I would just double down on that, on those. I love copper peptides, and I think there's a big space for more.
Yeah, I think it's about going back to scientific principles. Always, everything we've discussed, it's what does this part of my body need at a cellular level? What's the data? What's the science? Absolutely. And just focus on those key things.
I think it's quite nice. I mean, I 100% agree with you. It's where we both come from. But I think what's good to remember is because we have that emotional body and that spiritual body, and to blend all of humanity together, it's the perfect thing, isn't it? Is we pull all that clever science in, and then we just blend it and merge it with the human body.
And that's what I always wanted Decree to be, a blend of science and those sensorial, luxurious properties that make you enjoy your routine, that you look forward to doing it. And I have so many patients that come to me and say, I never used to spend any time on my skin. In fact, I didn't like looking at myself in the mirror. And now this is my de-stressing moment of the day. So how you touch your skin and what you put onto your skin, and taking time out is so important. So blending that kind of physical, emotional, spiritual well-being with your science is like the secret again.
It is the secret again, and we've done that.
Yeah.
Right there.
There we go.
Inside and out.
Yeah.
I think peptides in general.
Peptides, and I spoke at a recent innovations conference on a panel, and that's what I said. I said in 10 years' time, instead of your oral supplements, people will be injecting themselves with peptides. Yeah. And peptides are your signalers and your building blocks for every single cellular and enzyme process in the body. And we can cleverly select peptides to treat areas of need. So there will be neuroprotective protocols and protocols for skin and protocols for cardiovascular health and
all aspects of health, actually.
So I think it's very experimental at the moment. Obviously, we already love peptides in skincare, but we can take it to the next level.
And that's where science comes in, and
Yeah.
that's why we love.
And that's why it's exciting. I mean, look at how excited we
I
are talking
know.
about peptides.
I mean, peptides truly, and I'm the same as you. I mean, it's great. We know what it does in skincare. We know what it does when we take it IV. The work that's being done behind is huge on it. And because I have a supplement brand, I'm also super interested,
Yeah.
and we're researching a lot of what's going on in the peptide.
I agree.
Space.
And I think the whole bioregenerative side of dermatology and well-being as well. I mean, even in my clinical practice, 10 years ago in the aesthetic work I would do, it would be a cupboard full of Botox and filler. And now we use exosomes and polynucleotides and some form of mechanical energy to repair the skin. So we are getting people to look at their skin aging in a more holistic way as well. And, part of that skin journey is internal well-being. Within my clinic, we have endocrine specialists, we have gut health support, we do IV nutrition, we do supplements. It's all part of that process of that 360 approach.
Well, yeah, you're treating the human body, right?
Yeah.
It's not just skin. And I'm really glad that we shifted. And listen, the beauty industry is my passion and my love, and linked with science and linked with our qualifications and what we do is the best thing ever. But I'm glad it's shifting into a better space, actually. And it's about the whole body.
Yeah, and it's shifting into a better space because I think maybe it was COVID, the lockdown, I think it made people much more focused on their wellness.
Yeah.
And it's almost become like a project for people now. I want to live well for as long as possible and improve my lifespan and my health span. And people are becoming, some of my patients, almost obsessive. Like they track everything.
Yeah.
Everything is kind of scheduled around their wellness. And
Interesting.
so the attitude has changed. It has been amazing to spend time with you today. I think we could talk for hours about anything. But I guess bringing it back to how can people reach you and find your amazing treatments, and how do they find you in Harrods?
So I'm in Harrods on the 5th floor. You can make an appointment to come and see me and have a treatment with me, and I will actually be using the Decree skincare products because they're so great. They're also on the shop floor, and Hopothecary Hops Drops is available in clinic here and also on the shop floor. So come see me in Harrods.